Got an extra little shot of what the shed looks like. I've got Man Ray back there, stuff like that. Okay, sorry. We're gonna get to the program. We're gonna get with the program. We're gonna get with the program. Roll the intro. Okay, so I turned the lights on. Probably not super beneficial, actually. Um, yeah, I don't know what. I still don't know how I'm gonna do this. Oh well. Um, that looks good. That looks pretty good. Okay, revisions. Okay, no, wait. Let's roll it back for a second. This is a fun episode today. This is a fun. It's not really that fun. Uh, I decided to have some fun. I have my box here. It has 45s in it, or rather, I would say 7-inch vinyl, because they're not all necessarily spun at 45 RPM. I've got my Nothing to See Here compilation. Check it out. Check out 56K recordings. Gosh, I look tired. I look so haggard when I see myself. I don't really take. I'm gonna say something gross. I don't really shower often, and when I do shower, I don't necessarily look in the mirror. You would have noticed I had a unibrow for a while, and it was nice. But I kind of was going like that one day. I was like, oh, I got quite a bit of unibrow, and then I was like, I got it off. So anyway, don't pay too much attention to my face until I do this, and then this, and then I'm just staring at myself, which is not. This is not super comfortable. Um, I have a giant stack of CDs that have been sitting in the 45 box that I am not fond of. I've got some CDs in here too, right? But these are not in jewel cases, except for this DCLNR. Fantastic burial recordings, but the exciting thing about today is that I'm going to show you everything in my collection as far as CDs go. I'm going to show you everything in my collection as far as 7 inches go. I'm not necessarily going to review all my 7 inches, but a little bit of the idea behind doing Noise with Ivan is this will probably be a long episode. In fact, I think I'm too tired to do it. But it's a celebratory episode, and I thought it was more fun to go through more music and check stuff out because that's kind of the fun of this stuff anyway. You know, it's because when I'm reviewing stuff, it's almost like it's a commercial. This is awesome. Check this out, as opposed to me just going through a big heap of stuff. I grabbed some CDs at just a bookstore. Morphine. Yes. I think everybody loves Morphine. I haven't heard this album not recently anyway. So I'm excited to listen to that. I'm a big Devo fan. Got Devo's greatest hits. I might give that to my dad. Product. Progress. Don't know what this is. If anybody knows what it is, let me know. But I am going to see about giving it a spin. It's on Entropy. The Dominant Force. These I collected a long time ago. Everybody loves these. The Ethiopics compilation. I should say everybody loves Mulutua Stake because I don't think most people are listening to the whole this installment was or this one. The blues stuff is not incredibly popular. Omar Farouk Tebelek. No, I don't know how to say his name, but he's a sitar player in here. So I got some world music happening. I was into world music for a while. Mincemeat or 10 Speed. Strange Gods. This is probably up your alley if you like noise music. I'm not going to put them necessarily in the noise category right away, but if you like noise music, yeah. Obviously, I've got my Dry Eye CDs here. Fleshless, Grind God, Cripple Bastards, Napalm Death, Daryl Hall and John Oates. Quick thing, this is a celebratory episode because slavery came out. Okay, I didn't say it in the last episode, but the last episode came out when came out the day after the Angel of the Enemy split came out. So Angel of the Enemy, Ivan Reach, Horsebath, Black Helix. The split, it was kind of a split. We worked together on the last 2 tracks, but we had our own individuals at the front of it. There may be a CD release for it, hopefully. Angel of the Enemy is in the UK, so if you're in the UK, there may be a CD of mine that's actually accessible. But Slavery is always accessible here on my channel. It was really, really a pleasure to get done. The Mercy Vacuum did a great job on it. John Piper's sermon was incredible. I'm very grateful that Desiring God allowed me to use that clip. For the album, I'm very grateful for John Piper's ministry in general. Phenomenal preacher. That was a phenomenal clip. Humongous metaphor there. And yeah, it really made a big part of the album. It was humongous to create that and to continue working on the album with that structure. John MacArthur wrote the book Slave. That has a whole lot to do with me using the word slave in a positive connotation. Of course, in Romans 6 it says, you can either be a slave to sin. You were once a slave to sin, and now you're a slave to righteousness. So that's the idea, being a slave to sin and being a slave to righteousness. And depicted as being a slave to sin, we use the John Piper metaphor in the spiritual blindness. Then in the second suite, velvet, or because there's blindness and there's velvet, but then there's also 2 suites after them, obscuritas mentalis and affectus carnalis. I don't know how you pronounce Latin words. I've only read them ever before. And then, I can't remember how to pronounce the Greek, but at the end, it's not that I can't remember. I'm scared to try to, because I actually did listen to the Greek like about 1,000 times, so I would know how to memorize it if it ever came up. And this is kind of a platform where I wanted to talk about the point of that album. It's a massive thing for me. I've been working on that album for over a year, and everything else that I've ever released was, well, no, Handwritten Letters was very similar to that. And I would say that Handwritten Letters is my favorite thing that I've ever released, and the most important thing that I ever released. It was my magnus opus, if you will, as Charlotte calls it in Charlotte's Web. My mom was just telling me about that. She was saying that Slavery was mine, and I was like, oh, not really, but Handwritten Letters definitely was. But this is a massive album. It was 4 hours, and I started working on it before I even worked on crochet, and the Mercy Vacuum had his parts done at that time. So everything, up to this point was contributing to it. And I must say that it's hard to fashion your life after you've completed a piece like that. But so I suppose that right now everything is kind of about promoting it, and I wanted to make sure that I got that done with the next episode. So I've sort of been having a celebratory night right after I finished it, got it uploaded, and saw that it was on YouTube, and it got rejected once before. I tried to upload it, and the stores would not have it because of the amount of dead space. And originally I couldn't release it because it was too many tracks. I had to reduce it to 35 tracks so that I could release it through DistroKid. It was like 50-60 tracks, and I had to take out a massive sum of harsh noise. That's what these boxes over here are for. I don't know if I've shown them since, but I'm thinking about doing a cassette release of the original, because even the Affectus Carnalis and even the 2 suites in the middle, those were created as one big, there were 2 like hour-and-a-half tracks, right? So I have these box sets that I was thinking about doing of cassettes, um, where it's just a large, not um, not filtered at all, compilation of everything that went into this before it was filtered and sort of structured as like an improv, like almost like listening to an improvisational piece as opposed to listening to a deeply. And I worked on it. I had to work on it more. Like I said, it was they would not release it, given that there was just a massive sum of field recordings on the album. I had to go through and I composed this. What I did was I watched the movie The Cabinet of Dr. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Yeah, that movie. And that was great. And I love the score for it, and it was kind of repetitive in a way that I utilized when I went to do it. You know, I've listened to so much experimental music. I've listened to tons of classical music, did all kinds of like learned as much as I possibly could, operas, all that stuff. And then, but now I don't even remember any of it to the point. I suppose that a lot of these artists have had lasting effects on me. But now I just have, like, I have the harsh noise music that I have now, and that's obviously influential. And harsh noise as a genre has been influential, all kinds of and it allows me to seek greater length as a composer, but I can still watch a movie. But that's, I mean, when I graduated from production, or when I graduated from first, my intention was to start doing Foley, being a noise artist and being so interested in that aspect of production, or doing scores in general. So you can see how I would be really interested in movies now, thinking about kind of doing that with my life. But this was a whole lot more important to me than doing that. If I was never able to if I was going to release Slavery, and between me and Slavery was doing Foley, then I wouldn't do it. Or doing scores for other movies, I wouldn't do it. Like if I had to, like let's say if somebody was like, listen, I will buy Slavery from you and use it for something else, use it for my film. I love the album. I'm going to use it for my film instead of you having it as an album. Wouldn't do it. I might do it for the right number and for a career, and just know that I did it. I'd be like, this isn't, you know. I suppose it would need some great extent of prayer, but it was a massive art piece that had a lot of thought that I put into it. I have some CDs here, nothing interesting, but I do have a massive heap of Dry Eyes. Nothing I haven't shown on here before. The Dry Eyes stuff, Non-Might, and Receive the Flame. And yeah, I just thought that this would be, it's a lot more fun to just kind of go through a nice box like this, than to have kind of a more structured review. So given that I'm normally breaking down albums and talking about what I thought about them and talking about the labels, I thought that we would just check out some things that I don't even know what it all is. Right? This is just my 7-inch collection and some CDRs that I have ready to go. I want the CDRs to be the new 7 inches. I feel like there were such mass productions of such short runs for punk bands that it makes for a really fun thing to collect. As far as 7-inch punk singles, it was such a low budget thing for the time, and I feel like we should all have. It's so easy to make a CD. You know, if you're not willing to put that much effort in to make a little CD like this and release it and give it to your fans, or you know, do like what we're doing with these things, then it's not really worth doing. Of course, I use my CDs as a device to promote music, kind of, because like a big album like this, Slavery, is 4 hours long, almost 5, and there's no way that I'm going to get that on a CD in a little package like this that you can, you know, hand out. Oh, I grabbed this. Wait, no. These are in alphabetic order, too. I need to make sure they stay. I put them in alphabetic order. But these are not, because there's more of them. The idea here is, I don't know all these artists, but I think most of these things are from the 90s and 2000s. Except for... Oh my gosh, is that my wallet? Oh no, that's not my main wallet. They all have labels, or no, most of these labels have websites, and I want to look at all the websites that are on these things. I don't have a turntable set up right now, so I wouldn't. I might have gone through these, but it's not noise stuff, it's punk singles. So, for back in the day, you couldn't have got away with making noise music like this. But I really do feel that we release music now and it gets lost into a void, you know, and there's no real good structure for it. There's too much music just going up on Bandcamp and going up on SoundCloud and BandLab and all these places. You know, no one, we're not listening to it enough. So I think that people that are creating something that's an artifact, that's something to go into a collection, is really interesting. It's something for 15 people. It's not something for, you know, the whole world, you know. It's not something that everybody's going to be bumping in their car, and we shouldn't, as noise artists, be looking for that, you know. Oh my gosh, there was a bug. There was a moth. I don't know if you saw it. That's probably funny. Okay. So I've got a little stack here. And yeah, I think, like, because to me, especially as a young kid, like I'm 13 years old, I had probably about a stack this big, right, of 7 inches, and they all meant the world to me. I thought they were so cool, and I was always so excited to go back to Vinyl Conflict, and I'd get 2 or 3 more of these, and then I would just get so excited about them. And, you know, I'm ready to send these back into circulation, but I'm also ready to make things that are going to go into circulation. I'm also ready to encourage other artists to just make something like this, right? Make a small CD. Just make a little CD, right? No, it's 15 bucks, you know? 15 bucks. What costs 15 bucks? I suppose like a pack of CDs costs, it's probably like 20 bucks, 20, 30 bucks. Anyway, I made my own CDs. I made CDs for my friends. And yeah, I think that could be a really fun thing for us, you know, as opposed to, hey, check this out. I just released it and then nobody listens to it. But I must say I'm very blessed. Let me check I think split to YouTube. Okay, so evidently the split is on YouTube as well. Okay, so you have some homework to do. Bandcamp, Angel of the Enemy split, and YouTube, Roman Shower split, Hidden Window Recordings, and yeah, right here. If you don't want to do either of the other things, that's fine. Please listen to Slavery. Or do all 3. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much. And let me know if you want any physical media, because I have it. But these are going to go to my local record store. This is, I don't know, I might give these to you. Revisions, okay, on the... Revisions What? Empty House, No Wars. Okay, so does that mean this is a split? Green Noise Records. And there is 4 links. 4 websites: greennoiserecords.com, dirtnapress.com, therevisions.net, reddins.com, vagabondsound@hotmail.com. We have Hussein Sayer on bass and vocals. We have Richard Joachim on drums, and Douglas Burns on lead vocals and guitar and piano. Very interested in this, and I can't wait to go to those websites. I'm gonna have to double buckle down. Libertine, I feel like this is a very familiar 7-inch guttersnipe glamour. It's a lady with a gun, and she has the same kind of design as I have on my pants. The like cheetah print or something like that. Belvy, Jamie, Justin, Paul. To be honest, this is not the straightest looking band I've ever seen. Jamie Koval, guitar, Paul Vincent on bass, Justin Splits on guitar, Topper Kramer on drums. And there is, Libertine77@hotmail.com. And the homepage is http://surf.to/libertine. I don't know. I'll look all these things up later on. I'm going to try to put a document together, and then maybe even add in like the glare is upsetting. And I would have these in poly bags. I don't have any 7-inch poly bags around. I'm going to cut this out. The glare is better now. Ripped Up and So Sedated. Balance Egg Bound 17-volt paint emission. We're still apart from Reconstruction Records. And yeah, there's not Eggbound. Is Eggbound? Wait, okay, so this is a compilation, Ripped Up and So Sedated, but with a band's called Balance Eggbound 16-volt and paint emission, I think. And I'll try to find anything that I can on these and put them into the description. I'll put like a document together like I did for some of these. And maybe you're real upset with me because I don't actually know who Libertine is. Well, I'm a noise guy. Catchy, Like a Cold, Spread It Like a Virus, Grain USA. This is just a, radioactive sleeve with a just plain your usual 7-inch cover. A little bit of a marking there. No, as far as I remember, no. It was from the clearance bin at Amoeba Records, and it is black vinyl. That is a solid thing right there. It's just cool that it's in a little radioactive sleeve. Glory Holes, Poison, along with Fliptops, split 7-inch on with a 45 cut in the middle, so you can put it in a jukebox if you want. Johnny Cat Records, Fliptops, and Glory Holes on the other side, of course, with the little skulls there. It looks actually fantastic. Give It a Rest, Pickled Egg by the Glory Holes, and System Overload and I Don't Know by the Fliptops on Johnny Cat Records FY674. Okay, and is there, pretty sure there's not a, I'll show you this. But there's not a, unfortunately, there is not a website for us to go to. But Erie Records does have a website, www.erierecords.com. If you want to call the number, maybe there's still a thing. Broken Toys Burn Holes. Okay. Instant Agony, Not My Religion. www.punkcore.com. This does have a website. And there is a beautiful black vinyl. Black vinyl is the way I like it. Not much to show, though. Oh! Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, sometimes I wish I could just go through the record store and check stuff out all day, or I used to. I'm not that into it anymore. I would be more interested in, I don't know. I don't know. It's a childhood dream for me to have a box like this with records like this filling it up. Mutation with Satanic speakers. Okay, this is copy number 134 out of 150 by NPO. Off on NPO, static, NPO, right? Which is, I assume, the label. Static. Black vinyl, love that. Love the stamp on there. Looks good. Pretty big fan. There's not much information to be had here. I assume that there was at some point an insert, but because some people can't keep poly bags on their records, I was really upset when I got these and they didn't have poly bags on them. Poly bags is supplementary, so this is something to be looked into. Die, Wasted, classic album cover art style. Wasteland, Fugitives, Into the Tavern, My Last Drink. We have Roger Caustic in the middle on guitar and vocals, Johnny Younger on the drums, and Brandon Hoffman on the bass. And the website. Just kind of a classic look on the back here. Just unfortunate. That's a shame. Life's Tough for the Stupid. And we have a P.O. box in Philadelphia. We're from Rave Records. Rave, this is their 8th release, it looks like. Morphines, get it like morphine. Starvation Army, The Big Thing, and Reverb Motherfuckers. I don't say curse words, that's why that sounds odd coming from my mouth. Big Tea Party. Pretty cool insert. I like it on the red card, but I don't know what the Life's Tough for the Stupid. It's on Rave, and okay, this band is Reverb Motherfuckers, but this says side D and C, so there's a side of this. There's a whole one of these is not even here. You're in Yellow. I like that though. I think that looks good. But there's not a side. I'm wondering if it was a different thing, like if it was like a series of this, like if Rave release number 7 goes with this. But I'm also thinking that there was probably another 45 in with it. So I don't know, but it's unfortunate. There's a fax number, and a PO box and a regular number, but nothing else. 215 though. PA. Reducers SF, No Control. No Control. Never Find Me. TKO Records. 4104 24th Street. Number 103, San Francisco, California, 94114. Round 40 by TKO Records. And again, we don't have any good stuff, but it actually shows the map. So you can find your way to the label. No Control and Never Find Me. I gotta say, I love the art on here. I'm excited to hear it. Looks really good. Killing It. Cut Your Teeth. Be Serious, Let's Party. Standing Room Only. The art looks really good. Looks like a lot of fun. There's crap all up in these. It's not my fault, I'm telling you. A little bit of an insert. Okay, there's a killinit@gmail.com, killinithq.net, and myspace.com/killinit. I knew we were gonna get a MySpace. There's plenty of MySpace to go. In 2007, all music and lyrics by Killing It. So 2007, this is later than some of them. That's why they're so advanced to have MySpace. And you know, this Instagram stuff is probably going to go away the same. You know, the Bandcamp stuff. That's why I always hype the Bandcamp codes that I get. Interdemon gave me a ton of them. And I've put in random, like I've put in a Gates of Hypnos one, by the way. Shout out Gates of Hypnos with the Angel of the Enemy split with myself. I put in some of theirs and have grabbed a few things. Really, really fun to get Bandcamp codes. You really feel like you're winning. I like the color on this one. There's an insert sheet, and this is where you can actually order VC releases, which is crazy. Final Communications, P.O. Box 8623, Chula Vista, California, 91912. Cat's Meow hit the mark. We Never Went to the Moon. King Kill, 33 RPM. And there is a, I'll let this speak for itself, 1992. Fairly cool. It's just nerve-wracking, but again, the color. It's like a purple, but you wouldn't be able to see it unless you look right through it. See what I'm saying? You can't see it, but it looks great. Catch Meow, Final Communications. Goodness, these all look awful. These were all from eBay. All these ones without poly bags. I would have gotten poly bags by now. I ended up with these fairly recently. It's still cool. They're still cool to have, but it's such a shame that they don't have poly bags and that they have like just rub in there with them. Texas Thieves, killer on Craigslist. And they have a website, texasthieves.com. Check that out. See if they're still a thing. And there's Super Speedway. It was released on Super Speedway, www.supersm.com. See if that's still a thing. This is from 2004, so it's relatively old. I wonder how far these guys went, how popular they got. Yeah. Side X. Oh, and side XX. What kind of number system is that? Not in Roman numerals. Oh, my goodness. Wait, I thought it was falling through. The Chromosomes, I'm So Stupid. It's got Forrest Gump with a punk rock haircut, and it says Kick Me on the back of his jacket. Looks good. Looks good. Some stuff going on here. Like, this was a bid that I won. And you'll see why I went into it. Oh, Fist of the North Star! Hey, look who's here. Great. I love to see anime that I like referenced. Oh, is there a website? Website. There's always all kinds of little penis drawings in these. Okay, Supersonic. No. There's a fax number, a telephone number. And anybody that has been in a store like Vinyl Conflict, this is not uncommon. Italy. This is from Italy, dude. Supersonic Refridge Records. I don't know if you can see that name. And I'll be able to go through these if I need to put the information down there. which is a shame. But I'll find whatever I can on the band. Chromosomes, I'm so stupid. White Murderer. I just want to make sure I was reading it right. Safety in Numbers. With Real Tough Chicks. Paul Gonzalez on the drums. Hannah Bloomfeld on the microphone. Mary Animal microphone. Mike D'Amico. D'Amico. I guess that's how you would say that. Whole thing. On the bass guitar, Ruben Kaiben. On guitar, recorded and mixed by Jeff Ehrenberg. Mastered by Pete Lyman. Artwork by Jacob Gaxiola. And printed by Mike Shelburne. So cool. WM release number 2. The second release. White Murder. Recent. 2012. For these. Oh, cool. There's an insert. Real Tough Chicks. whitemurder.bandcamp.com. We have made our way to Common Era, haven't we? All right. Very cool. There are much newer things in here as well. Maybe like 2017. Recent. Chinese Lungs, Get Your Lungs Out. A very fun album cover, and then everybody's looking behind them on the back. And I'm wondering how we're www.chineselungs.com. Woo! Squooge Records. Studios. Oh, from London. Great art. I don't really like it, but I feel like it's good. Is it acid that the devil's given this lady that is not well dressed? Versus Pricks versus Sprouts versus Pricks versus Sprouts versus... So I'm guessing it's called Pricks versus Sprouts. Okay, the Sprouts and the Pricks. And this is a combo. Fast as Fuck, Ron 066. Their 66th. Info at rockandbones.it. www.rockandbones.it. Rockin' Bones. Take a look. So it's a split with Rockin' Bone and... Wait, Pricks and Sprouts. Okay, it's on Rockin' Bones Records. The Sprouts and the Pricks. And it's copy number 134 out of 300 copies. APA lights out. There are probably a lot of bands in here that you know. You know who they are. Everything I've gone through so far, haven't heard it. Isn't that crazy? I've had these sitting around for a little bit. APA lights out. A-side. If there's one of these bands that you love, let me know. Anchorholdstudios.com, because it's not that I don't like punk music. Again, I grew up with this kind of thing. Really happy that we have a link here. And yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, this kind of thing was my favorite as a kid. You know, these, I had some of these, you know, just whatever was really cheap at the record store. And, I listened to them a lot. You know? And I feel like that should be a goal for us. It shouldn't be to get streams. And I don't want to be bound by numbers. 1981 Secret Music Clockwork Fund. So that's when the thing came out, but this album is from 2004 on TKO Records. goodness, this is going to be a lot of work. I haven't even got through. It's a celebratory episode to celebrate the release of Shame. And it's going to be just as long as Shame, it looks like. Sink or swim. Beautiful purple. Party time. CDs $8, 7 inches $4. Oh my goodness, it used to be cheaper. That's so interesting. I'm such an idiot. You would think you would want like a really knowledgeable guy doing something like this. Well, I'm not, but I am doing this. Yeah, wow. That's crazy that the CD's $8. I think that that's too much to charge. And it's crazy that you would sell a 7-inch for $4. Yeah, it's reversed now. It's just not how it works anymore. L'Amico de Martucci EP. We are not sticking with America on these ones. My old collection is American, largely. Did I show this already? It's gonna be a lot of work. Introspect education. This is one of those ones on 30, 33. That's why we don't call them 45s. We call them 7 inches. 1998. Yeah, this is one of the older ones. And I really love how it looks on the back, that little logo. I gotta remember that I can't zoom in. I just have to kind of show it like that. We're hot. We're sweaty. I don't know if that's from a movie or from... We're something ready. And I will get through. This is the last one of the non. If you're like me, you're very upset that these do not have polybag. French. I think it's French. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Something Stone. There's the little tattoo on the... Does everybody know who these bands are? Crazy. That would make me feel like these... Like I've got a really great thing. Listen, I'm getting rid of these. Getting rid of these. I'm a noise guy. I'm a noise listener. And this stuff is not going to stay with me. So if I've got it and I don't need it, then it's okay. Okay, so I know the rest of these a little bit better. Oh, do you see the sweat on me? Oh my goodness, it's hot in here. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna give it a rest. And hopefully, I don't know if I'll separate the episodes because this is 2 Noise with Ivan episodes worth. But yeah, I did take a second to talk about Shame. I wanted to do that at the end, but I got through this many singles, and there's that many left. So, and I've got CDs too to go through, and some tapes. Which, I mean, I've already gone through most of these on here. I don't know if you've heard Left Cross. Servants of Death, I had the t-shirt on last week. It's a local Richmond band. Left Cross is huge. Probably the biggest thing that I've hyped on here, except for, like, bigger stuff. Yeah, this was before they were on the Vinyl Conflict label, because they released Chaos Ascension, on the Vinyl Conflict label, and this 7-inch on there as well. But yeah, this is kind of a back in the day type of thing. I wish I had taken better care. Yeah, Anthems. Oh, Anthems of the Undesirable. So they have the Servants of... Well, this is the Servants of Death cassette, and the Hell is Hell 7-inch was weird. There's also a couple things. Romanus Mote, 2016. See, even this stuff is old. So I'm glad that my collection actually seeps back further, because everything in this CD thing is 25. Most of my 24, 20 plus, right? The 20s, right? This is all from the 20s. This is all from the 2000s. These are from the 2010s. This is obviously recent. This was on Burial Recordings. It was a great release. Birkeland and Martin Eskent. Don't exactly know how to pronounce it, but yeah. This Anal Birth was okay. I know it's massive with noise fans and gore fans, but I'm just not that familiar. Wilted Perch was a little more horror, a little more atmospheric, kind of closer to what I did on Slavery, but I was maybe a little more musical. I like the music, and then I like harsh noise, and I like classical music. Keep them separate. You know, I'm not a real atmospheric. I like field recordings. You see what I'm saying? It's a very I use hard edges a lot of the time, I think. Stonewired, you could say the same. This is definitely a noise release, though. Very cool. Been through all this stuff on the show, except for Dry Eyes Ox. Love it. The Madeline at Neighbors tapes are here. And this is just a celebratory episode of music, right? We're talking about how much we love music. We're talking about how much we love Jesus Christ, our Lord. Forced Entry and the Glasgow Smile. That was a really good tape. Very short, but really good. Chain Link Bulge. Never talked about this one yet. This is my first review of the day. Chain Link Mistress Bulge. This is on Dark Rider tapes. I bought a handful of these from Dark Rider tapes. I think there's more. I don't think this is all there is, but this is from the Budget series. This was the only one that was not on the Budget series that I could see there. Oh no, there was another one. Anyway. Described as music concrete, run through distortion. Concrete, run it through feedback and delay. Burn it hot to tape. So yeah, Chainlink Mistress or Dark Rider tapes at bandcamp.com. Not a huge fan. I like that the cover has been kind of stamped on. But it was classic. It was classic noise. If you like that kind of thing, but it's definitely... It's harsh noise, but not loud. It's not aggressive. Of course, I don't listen to anything loud. If you notice, Slavery is really, really pretty quiet. And yeah, I have a significant stack of everything here. So I'll go get some water and hydrate and have some coffee. And maybe I was watching Big Lebowski earlier. Maybe I'll finish that.